the first video I want to get into, and this is one that I recently came across of Ari Lennox. So Ari Lennox said something in this interview that that rings true for so many women, but a lot of them aren't ready to acknowledge it. A lot of them are not ready to be accountable and tell the truth. So I want to pull up a little bit from what she had to say, and I definitely want to hear your thoughts on it. So make sure you chime in the chat. Let's get into what Ari Lennox said, y'all. Here we go.
I think I have a thing for toxic energy. So I think there's still some more healing that I need to do, because when I look back on all of these energies, it's a shame I gave them so much time and there were sweet energies that I didn't. Yeah. And so now I see those sweet energies getting married and starting families. I'm just like, dang, that probably could have been me if I recognized the security in those individuals at the time. And like now I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely feeling that now. I'm aware that there's something going on. There's something wrong.
What do you think it is that attracts you to like toxic energy?
I think they just seem really exciting at first. The chemistry is incredible. And they don't even always be fine. It's not even that like they're sexy or something. I mean, well, they're sexy, but they don't be the finest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's just an energy. Sometimes it's convenience, what we talk about. A lot of the sweeter energies that I felt like weren't for me. I could see myself falling asleep a little bit on the phone. So I don't know if that's like, if boring is good or not. Like, I'm trying to figure out what that means. Like,
it's the thrill.
Yeah.
It's the thrill of it.
Yeah.
What's
absolutely.
your
song?
Now, the lady who's interviewing her was like, it's the thrill. It's the thrill. You know, and this is what we talk about all the time. This is what we talk about all the time. The guys who have swag or whatever, the energy that they like. And to be honest with you, a lot of the energy that these women say they like is really dudes who don't really give a shit. It's really the dudes who have this type of energy that they don't really care. Like, you know, they want you to chase them. They have this kind of nonchalant attitude, but the women are attracted to that. And like one thing Ari Lennox said is that they weren't all that attractive. It's just, it was the vibe, you know, it's what they say now. You know, back then it was swag, but now it's the vibe. We got to be able to vibe. We got to have he got to have certain qualities that women are attracted to. But the thing I think they're missing, and they're slowly starting to figure out, or trying to at least acknowledge is what she's doing, that there is an issue in the way women pick men. And this is why men say it all the time. Women pick the wrong guys. Y'all pick wrong. And it's the truth. And now they're slowly starting to break it down because they're getting older. And they're realizing, like she said, those guys that she called, you know, that had the sweeter energy, the guys who were probably nicer guys who may have been interested in her for the right reasons, they were considered boring to her. They didn't probably have the swag. They weren't, you know, pushing things. They were being respectful. A lot of them being, you know, just a respectable man. They weren't trying to be aggressive and force anything on you, trying to get into your drawers and all of that. You know, they were probably just decent guys. And usually those guys, you know, might appear to be boring to these women because he doesn't have an agenda to try to, you know, swindle you or take advantage of you. And so somehow in the minds of a lot of women, they don't pick up on that. They don't pick up on that until it's too late. They don't realize what's going on, even though they're the most educated out here. They don't understand a lot of game that these men are running, and they don't care to, because when women are attracted to a certain guy, a certain swag, a certain look or whatever, that's all they see. And that's because that's what they like and that's what they're attracted to. They don't see anything else. They don't see anything else. And, you know, and this is why they complain about getting their feelings hurt when they've given their all to these particular guys, not realizing that those guys weren't with you for the right reasons. They were there for a short time, not a long time, but for a good time. They were there to have a good time with you and then keep it moving. And you get your feelings involved with these guys because that's your type. And then it never works out. And then by the time they're hitting 30, 40 and older, you know, they're wondering where the good guys at. Why can't I find a man at this point? Why I can't have a family? I thought eventually, once I'm done playing around, that I'd be able to get a man and start a family and we live happily ever after. But they're realizing it doesn't work like that. This is not a fairy tale. It's not a movie. It's real life. And so this is the wall that Kevin Samuels talked about. Hitting the wall. People made fun of that. They didn't like it. They didn't like what he was saying, but it's true. And we see it all crumbling down. We see it all just exposed for what it is. And it's not a real slight to anybody, but it's just the reality that a lot of women don't want to face. Listen, the wall is undefeated, baby. It is. Oh my God. And we're seeing it happen in real time. A lot of these women they hate to accept that they made a mistake. They hate to accept that they didn't go about this thing the right way for whatever reason. Maybe they just didn't know, because there are a lot of women who just don't know, just like men don't know, just like we all don't know some things. So I understand that we weren't given a rule book of how to make relationships work and what we should do, and a collective guide of how to create a stable relationship and what you should be doing for a husband and a man and how do you build it. We didn't have no guidebooks for that. So we had to learn as we went. But a lot of people have gotten their information from the wrong folks. And you've gotten information that is keeping you stagnant, that is not benefiting you, and is not creating it's not conducive to creating healthy, stable relationships with and building families and having longevity with said families. This is why everybody's so messed up. This is why relationships fail all the time, because we all are trying to figure it out. But women have allowed other women and society and all these societal norms and all this stuff to guide them and tell them what is best, even though it's not working for them. And a lot of them are stuck there because they're not realizing, hey, if you're doing something, if you've been doing it for 15 years and it's not working, then you need to change what you're doing. You need to pivot. You got to understand what that means, that you don't keep doing the same thing and not getting the result and you keep doing it. You have to understand how to try something new. But a lot of them are stuck in this mentality. They're stuck in their ways. They're stuck in what they believe, and they're going to manifest it no matter what you say. And when they're 50 and 60, they still have a warped sense of reality, because you got 50, 60-year-old women saying,
I want a man to take me shopping. Could you take me shopping? I need a man who understands who and what I am.
You haven't learned, and you're still holding out. You're still holding out for Mr. Right to come in and be a big simp at your big age. And you've missed it. That ship has sailed. If you didn't get it when you were younger and that's your most attractive, it ain't gonna happen now. Unless you understand your part and what that man's part, that he's not going to settle, and you're going to have to be the one to acknowledge that, you know what, I'm just going to have to get me somebody. Unless you're going to have to be the one to settle for whatever you can get. And if you don't want to do that, well, they end up, by themselves till the end. So once again, the wall is undefeated. I don't know if people, if you like it or not, but it is what it is. We see it happening.